There's a little delay.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition? Stripped of our name, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion. Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we
And
All right. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Oh man, it's another 7th Region Coalition. We are live. Yay. So
Right.
welcome everyone. Welcome. And go ahead. Let's go and get it out the way.
Come on.
Come on, let's do it. Like, share,
Don't be
subscribe,
stingy.
share
Don't
it
be
with your
stingy.
friends and family.
It costs
Invite all your
nothing.
people to come on through.
It costs nothing but to share, like, make some comments, add to the algorithm.
Yes. So we have by Allah's grace, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. We have a power-packed show today.
Yeah.
And we are talking about the natural path to healing a nation within a nation. I'm going to say that again. The natural path to healing a nation within a nation. So, and we have our very special guest that you will see in un momento. All right. So as we continue to move forward, I want to begin to introduce my phenomenal team here. And we have over here.
Yeah, there you go.
We have over here
Who am
our
I?
beloved brother Tony Muhammad. So awesome to always have you in the house.
Always awesome to be in the presence of greatness.
Praise be to Allah. Reflecting of each other. Yes. Next, we have.
Y'all are pointing to each other.
Yes, we have our beloved brother Mark X, brother student minister Mark X. So wonderful to always have you in the space. Yes. And of course, we have, let's see, right
that
here.
Way. There you go.
Yeah, right there. Like just like that. Yeah, just like that. We have the incomparable brother Philip Faisal Muhammad. Yes.
Right. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Region Protocol Director. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. All right, brother Tony.
Yes.
Go ahead and let's get it moving.
Let's begin properly, dear family. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is messenger and servant. And I also bear witness to the coming of God himself, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, the Supreme Being, to whom holy praises all forever due. I am forever thankful for the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the exalted Christ, and Al-Mahdi, the eternal leader of the nation of Islam. And I thank them both for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the Messiah of Allah's Christ, in our midst. In their divine names, I greet you in peace. Assalamu alaikum, which simply means peace be unto you. Buenas noches, sac passe, Frida Land, Abaragani, whatever greeting you are greeting the chosen people of God, we are greeting you in that great greeting ourselves right now. Beloved family, welcome to Thursday Night Talks, headed up by the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives, which was organized by our student regional minister, Student Minister Patrick Muhammad, in the midst of the Criterion message, or soon after rather, which of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, that took place soon after July 4th, 2020, which we were put on a mission to warn our people about dangerous inoculations that were assembled, put together according to their argument, to control COVID-19. But we ourselves, we were assembled and put together to warn our people against that, according to the wishes of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And so here we are, still going strong in 2024, still warning our people about things, circumstances that are taking place in the world right now that our people must become privy to. And it is very important that health becomes one of the centerpieces, because if our health goes away, then we go away. So we are broadcasting these programs now through the 9 ministries. And the ministry that we're focusing on tonight is, of course, the Ministry of Health and Human Services, which provides for the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of the members of the society. The goal of the Ministry of Health is the fulfillment of the intention of the Creator for every human being to achieve his or her potential for both longevity and good health throughout life. Its efforts extend to the family and the community as well as the individual. And so we look forward to having a discussion with our guest here tonight, who will be introduced by beloved brother and Student Regional Protocol Director, Brother Philip Muhammad. I hand it over to you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much for that introduction, Brother Tony. And in accord with the Ministry of Health and Human Services, we have an extra special guest who is here with us this evening. And that special guest is the one and only Dr. Patrice Muhammad, who is a board-certified physician associate and doctor of integrative medicine with 3 decades, 30 years of experience in various fields of medicine, including but not limited to internal medicine, family medicine, emergency medicine, pediatrics, occupational medicine, correctional medicine, and hematology and oncology, for which she was appointed the lead abstractor for the Quality Oncology Practice Initiative, the QOPI, for the American Society of Clinical Oncology. She is also, she also has experience in conducting risk assessment, screenings in the areas of adolescent pregnancy and adult inpatient detox programs to monitor exposure to domestic violence, physical and or sexual abuse, and other mental health diagnoses. She's a certified medical examiner for the Department of Transportation, the DOT, the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, and has experience in disaster preparedness training and received her certification from the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. She is the CEO of Health at Its Best, LLC, which provides telehealth consultation for natural healing therapies based on the fundamentals of whole food nutrition and healing herbal tonics. Wow. This combination serves as a healthy and safe option to the synthetic, toxic, and chemically based medications and treatments offered by traditional primary care providers. It has been her life's mission to help others acquire true and sustainable healing to one's fullest capacity. Dr. Muhammad's signature statement is, it sounds so simple, but it's so deep. You are living your best life when your mind and body are balanced and healthy. Dr. Muhammad works in partnership with Salam Community Wellness Center, which is a newly established holistic alternative medicine wellness center in the Woodlawn area on Chicago's southeast side, where they offer a wide range of services such as primary care, integrative medicine, mental health and case management, nutrition therapy, traditional Chinese medicine, acupressure, Reiki, deep breathing meditation, guided imagery, yoga, nutrition response testing, chromotherapy, music, and sound therapy. We're going to get a little bit into that. I love chromotherapy.
Our sister does it all, man.
I'm about to get my crayons out right now. Okay. So Dr. Muhammad is currently the project head and lead author of a published prostate cancer research project, and currently working with the Investigational Review Board on prostate cancer to conduct further research to develop a definitive criteria for the diagnosis of prostate cancer, with the goal of minimizing the tremendous gap that exists in the overdiagnosis and overtreatment of prostate cancer in men of African descent, leading to premature death. You may contact Dr. Muhammad at healthatitsbest.org, 773-435-9493, and via healthatitsbest1@gmail.com. We'll repeat all of those at the end. But brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, with a warm round of applause, please bring on our beautiful guest, our sister, Dr. Patrice Muhammad.
All praises due to Allah. Brother Philip, that was wonderful. What an announcement.
You're like, who was that? That's you, Dr. Patrice.
That was really live. That was live.
Alhamdulillah. Wonderful. Thank you. And once again, for making time out of your busy schedule, as everybody can see, to come and spend some time with the 7th Region Coalition to help save lives.
Thank you, sir. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Assalamu alaikum to all.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yes, but never too busy. You know, we all are leading busy lives. I'm telling you, even as we were talking before we broadcasted, even the homeless are busy.
What?
You know what I mean?
That part, right?
Really, this is something. But again, never too busy to bring information and to work out my life's mission. I'm working my salvation.
Yes, praise be to Allah. Praise be to Allah.
Well, we're not going to waste any time, Sister Dr. Patrice. We're going to go straight in. If I may ask this question, because according to the National Institute of Health, Black men are 60% more likely to experience prostate cancer than white males, according to your research.
Yes, sir.
What is the accuracy of these numbers?
They're actually fairly accurate, and my study, I can bring it up if you will. But in the study, that's quite accurate, Brother Tony.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we are, the Black male is overdiagnosed though. However, they're overdiagnosed and overtreated. Now, I would have to say, according to what the studies that we have done as an investigation review board, we still are finding that those numbers that are being diagnosed are still above that of any other ethnicity, any other group of men. And that's multifactorial. It's a lot of factors that go into that. However, even with that large percentage of diagnosis, that diagnosis does not have to lead to treatment. And that's where our work has been. Okay, you're diagnosed with prostate cancer. And even though, well, okay, let me backtrack a little bit. That diagnosis is, we found, okay, this is crucial. What we found in the diagnosis is that there is a unique or individual diagnostic criteria that a urologist uses. So that's the specialist for men in the prostate. But what we're finding is, and that's why we did the study, we're finding that they use different criteria to diagnose prostate cancer. It is not a definitive set of criteria that you can say, okay, you have prostate cancer if you have this, this, and this. No, it's not that standardized. And actually, that was kind of shocking to me, being in medicine for 30 years. But that's not my area. But still, to know that each urologist has a unique way of that diagnosis. Okay, so now you have a diagnosis, but then what is the criteria to start treatment? Do you do conservative surveillance? Can watch and wait? Do we have to look at some other proton therapies? Do we need to look at chemotherapy, hormonal therapy? What are the treatments that we need to implement? And more times than not, they put the Black man into some form of treatment to sterilize, some form of treatment actually that puts him closer to death, because those the set of criteria for diagnosis, even though you're diagnosed, does not mean that you have to go to a definitive treatment category and undergo chemotherapy, hormonal therapy, proton therapy, any of those that still shorten your health, the health and well-being of the Black man.
Mm-hmm.
So Dr. Patrice, pardon me if I missed it in what you just described, right? Because I think that you were just explaining the next question that we had. So if I repeat the question again, forgive me, okay?
Sure, no problem.
But in your work with the IRB, right, which is the Investigational Review Board on prostate cancer, right, to find those definitive criteria of the diagnoses to treat prostate cancer, why is it, according to your findings, that Black men are commonly misdiagnosed, right? And then in the same respect, why is the severity of it exaggerated and not properly treated? Why are we misdiagnosed more so than others? And why is it exaggerated and not properly treated?
Okay. Well, the misdiagnosis is, there are plans. There are plans in our community for us.
Come on.
That we have been, God, Allah has been blessing the Black man to, we're still making it past those plans to get rid of us.
Mm-hmm.
So the diagnosis, or would you say the misdiagnosis, comes by, it's a plan. So there is a Black researcher at Johns Hopkins, and I don't want to share his name right now, but
Yes, ma'am.
he did ask the question, what is it? No, I'm sorry. One of our IRB members asked the question of Mr. Victor Muhammad of his colleague at Johns Hopkins. What is it about the male prostate that, especially the Black male prostate, that is causing this high number of diagnoses of cancer? And his colleague responded that after the age of 65, most Black men have the same tissue changes of the prostate that occur across the board. Almost, it's almost what they call heterogeneous. It's across the board. So these changes are they're kind of progressive changes based upon diet, based upon environment, not necessarily a change into a cancer, a malignancy. So why is a certain population diagnosed with cancer and another population is diagnosed with benign prostatic hypertrophy? So the plan, some urologists they want to give these expensive therapies. They want to do expensive surgeries. This is their goal. We have to get that prostate out. We have to get you some hormonal therapy. This Lupron is going to help with that cancer. We have to get you to this this is a very focused therapy, the proton therapy. We got to get you. We have to experiment on you.
That's what they did.
That's what
Right.
that. Yes,
Doc-
that's what they.
That exact
That's the simple
protocol.
answer.
Exact
Okay.
protocol.
Got you.
And that
Well,
that doctor said the exact same thing.
A very common thing, and I'm going to share this because not too far away from the Miami Mosque, right there on the corner on Dr. Martin Luther King Boulevard, you'll see signs on there. You have diabetes? We want your blood. Do you have this ailment? We want your blood. Do you have this? We will pay you for
Yes.
to come in. If you go to Craigslist, and the majority of us that are subscribing to these experiments are the Black and the poor.
Yes.
So there is no coincidence there, Dr. Mitchell.
That's how they get us. And then the treatment, the second part of my dear brother's question about the treatment. Why is there, you say, is there a mistreatment or lack of treatment or overtreatment?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
overtreatment. The same thing we just mentioned. We know it's not unknown. It's not unknown among urologists and oncologists that those treatments they diminish a person's health, and eventually they wipe out the immune system. And once the immune system is gone, the days are numbered, because you can't survive without an adequate, intact immune system. And those therapies, they do that because they're not as discriminate to go to, a 5 millimeter tumor to just burn out that or laser that. It's not, they say it is, but it's and they are coming up with these very complex ways to try to focus on that area, but it's still damaging nearby healthy cells in the meantime. But every time they do that, that's not non-invasive, that's invasive.
Come on.
Right.
And it's based upon the skilled hand of the urologist. So we're at the mercy, even at that end. So,
yeah. Wow. So
Thank you so much, Dr. Patrice.
absolutely.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely. So what are preventive measures to avoid terminal illnesses like cancer? Because we know there are some. So what are they?
Yeah, well, we want to start with this book. Oh, you can't see on my virtual. Oh, goodness, my virtual. Okay, it's called How to Eat to Live.
That's
Come
right.
on. Come on.
Okay, so How to Eat to Live is my go-to all the time. Now I want to read something to you and to your audience, because this is important. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be in the Nation of Islam. This is a book for all of humanity. God himself came in the person of, we believe that God himself came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, and he gave instructions, clear instructions, to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad And those instructions from the most honorable Elijah Muhammad were put in a book for us. Wasn't that wonderful? They gave us a book. God gave us a book. He gave us a book. So in this, I just want to read a little bit of it so your listeners could know what this book contains. The Bible says, I'm sorry. There's no way for us to learn the right way to eat in order to live a long life, except through the guidance and teachings of Allah, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. The Bible says that he will give us more life abundancy, but he demands strict obedience to his will. There is no way of prolonging the life of human beings or any other life unless it begins with restrictions of foods which sustain life, the right kinds of food, and the proper time when it should be taken into our bodies. That's the one, okay? Then the other is the earth is full of food, but good health cannot enter our bodies unless we have the proper food in the body and the proper food for thought. If we do not have the proper food for our way of thinking, we still cannot enjoy peace, good health, joy, and gladness of heart.
Wow.
So we have to have that dichotomy here of the proper food and proper thought. That's how we can prevent these, because once you get it, but how to prevent disease and illness. The proper foods and proper thought. One without the other will not work.
Wow.
So the proper thought is your spirit. Well, you all can go through that. Of course, that's your spiritual. That's your connection to God himself.
Wow.
If we have a nasty attitude when we're fasting, it's like we're not fasting at all.
They cancel it out. Absolutely.
Improper thoughts serve as a cancer and a poison to us.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Well, wow, Dr. Patrice, let's take this a step further, because in this society, we all know that drugs are often prescribed for healing. That's prevalent throughout. But my question is this: is there a better way? And if so, what is it?
Of course, there's a better way. we have to go back to the beginning, right? What did God prescribe? There were foods. So there are whole food supplements, because now we have a better way, but we don't want people to be too quick to come off of medications that are helping with their heart. Because once the heart goes, the days are numbered.
Yes,
we don't want you to stop taking your heart medication. We can wean you off of it. That's a fact. Because once we give the heart what it needs, hearts, as most people don't know, they correct very quickly. Hearts can correct in 90 days.
Wow.
I know for a fact. I've been doing this a long time. 90 days. If you give the heart, I'm talking about with an ejection fraction of 35%, normal is around 55, 60%. I'm talking half of the strength of the heart can go normal, extremely close to normal in 90 days with the proper whole food supplements.
Wow.
So you're talking about therapeutic whole food supplements that can help you wean or help those who are on synthetic chemical medications. You can be weaned off of that with a whole food supplement. So it's not like you can I'll just eat carrots. I'll just eat this. No, you can't eat enough of carrots. You can't eat enough or drink enough milk to get over, osteoporosis, to strengthen your bones.
Right.
It has to be in a concentrated form. And there are very quality, good therapeutic supplements that are out there. I've been dealing with a company myself for about 20 years now. Dr. Aleem introduced me to this company back in 2004, and I've still used them. Because why go to something else? Why fix was not broken? And I have been using this over many years, but I tell people, I used to tell people, I don't want you on a supplement every day. But as I read in How to Eat to Live, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said we have to supplement.
Right.
But he was speaking of this time, I believe. I know he said it back when the book was written, but we see that we have to supplement. But what do we supplement with? We must supplement with quality whole food supplements.
Mhm.
But the other important thing is growing our own food.
Thank you.
Because you can grow your own food, and if you're eating your own food that is grown without pesticides, herbicides, insecticides, then you don't have to necessarily purchase a lot of supplements. You culture that food with love, and you grow that food, and that food will cause all the nutrient gaps that you have to be erased. Your
Wow.
body will soak up that nutrition and it will start to heal itself. All we need to do is give it the proper foods,
Beautiful.
macro and micro minerals, and the body will heal itself. But if you're on medication, if you're out there on medication, you can contact me. You can contact a reputable naturopathic person or an herbalist, because we can get you off of the medication, but we need to do it properly.
I think that's a perfect segue into our next question, Dr. Patrice, because I want to reference the book Medical Apartheid by Harriet Washington.
Oh my goodness.
Where she talks because of our experience historically on being experimented on and being mistreated by the medical profession, we have this thing where we don't want to go to the doctor.
Right.
But we should have, at the same time, we should have regular checkups.
Yes, sir.
What advice do you have for selecting a doctor, a reputable doctor, reputable to us? What questions should we ask to determine if the doctor is right for us?
Well, I hate to be or to sound pessimistic,
keep it 100, sister.
but if most doctors that have an MD behind their name, most of them, the mass majority, don't want to hear anything about natural health and healing. Now, you may find some of us that are in tune with that. You may find some of us who are MDs who actually they actually believe in natural health and healing. They actually believe that foods and herbs versus synthetic chemicals. They actually believe you don't have to get vaccinated. But that number is like finding a needle in a haystack.
Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
However, what I would suggest, number one, everyone needs to go like the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan asked us to do. He said, once a year, get your annual. He said he gets his annual physical once a year. Even if you go into the worst doctor on the planet, if you go in and once a year and let him just, not prescribe anything, but go in, you get your physical, you get your blood drawn. So he doesn't have anything to do with your blood, what your outcome of your blood is. Just get your blood drawn. And when you have to go back to follow up with your results, you can see what he says, or you can contact me, contact those of us. There's some of us that have gone to doctors, and we have been blessed to have doctors who have been patient with us and who understand where we're coming from. So we have to pass those along. And I have some here in Chicago. And so I know I can pass, some people along, but we should at least do that. Go to the primary care provider or internist with an MD, go and let them listen to your heart, lungs, take your vital signs, draw your blood. That's it. Let them just do that. And then if you want to go to someone else later to interpret it. But the good thing about it is when you see the results, they do give you a parameter so you can see if you're low or high. Then you'll know if you need to go to an herbalist, a naturopathic doctor, or someone else who knows about natural medicine at that time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for that advice.
So I'm sorry I couldn't give you a whole laundry list of those of us who really understand real health, and really recognize what we mean when we say we don't want vaccinations and we don't want to take a lot of supplement or pills. We don't want to take a lot of that.
Dr. Patrice, I'm going to say this. I'm going to begin with my own, which is us in the Nation of Islam. And I'm going to begin with my own, like we had Dr. Love last week. And we have others who, Black doctors that absolutely love us. That's one of the main qualifiers I'm looking for.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. And by Allah's grace and mercy, I was made for that. I'm in there too. I love us, and I love working for us. I love serving us.
Allahu Akbar.
Praise be to Allah. Well, Sister Patrice, Sister Dr. Patrice, I like to say that. Yes, ma'am. Recently, CNN had a headline and stated that 70% of the food is ultra processed. So what do you do? What do you suggest we do to eat healthy and stay well?
Okay, well, I think that number is, I think that's probably undershot a little bit. I think it's even more than that. I think it's even more than that.
Yeah.
So what I would suggest is not an easy thing, but we either do that or we're going to continue to be in the situation that we're in or worse. We were taught, how many years ago? You all can help me with this. We all were taught 70 years ago. We were taught a long time ago that we need to grow our own food.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, we've been here a long time. What, 94 years now? Okay, so we were taught a long time to grow our own food. And if we had followed that, you know, I don't want to say, oh, it was too late. No, it's not too late, because that alarm continues to need to be sounded. That alarm needs to continue to be sounded. I don't care if you live in a one-room apartment. Get you a pot, what they call a planter's pot. Put something in it. I don't care if you just, you know, grow an onion, grow something of your own. Start somewhere. I'm oversimplifying this, but I'm saying we really have to do that. We are really running out of time. So we were also taught, of course, the sisters in the Nation of Islam, we were taught for canning. So we have to can. We have to go and get the best of what we know how to get. Farmers markets are pretty good because farmers markets are farmers who actually are trying their best to grow a quality product with heirloom seeds, although some of them get in trouble, but seeds that are not those Monsanto or other seeds that are from GMO, produce. So if you get the farmers markets, try to, and the organic, they say this organic. I did a program about organic. I did quite a bit of research in organic, and it's a toss up. It's really a toss up. So the only way we know is if we have people in our communities, because we do have believers that in the Nation of Islam, we have members that have farms. We know that we have a farm here in Michigan. Every so often we can go there. That we have to do that, because that 70%, I believe, Sister Felicia, is inaccurate. I think it's even more of that, of our foods that are ultra processed.
Yeah.
And one point, the company that I called Standard Process, they battle every year to keep the neighboring farms from their seeds and from other things coming onto their property, because they are, excuse my language, they are hell bent on keeping their seeds, their crops organic, and without those other seeds, the GMO seeds blowing onto their crops.
Non-GMO.
Right, exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you.
So yes, ma'am. It's not an easy question, but if we start, it's never too late. If we start, you know,
Yeah.
we
That's
can
right.
start and we can save ourselves in
Yeah.
that
That's
regard.
right.
Start
Thank you.
somewhere.
Start
Mhm.
somewhere.
Yeah.
Pull our resources. What happened to that? What
Yeah.
happened to that?
Wow.
Doing
Pulling
for self,
resources.
doing for self does not mean that we do it all by ourselves.
Yes, sir.
Right.
There's a huddle of
Absolutely.
process.
Yes.
Well
Absolutely.
put.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Well, Dr. Patrice, this has been very excellent and enlightening. The next question we have here is, how does your medical practice reinforce and strengthen your religious and spiritual practice? Is there a relationship between the two?
Absolutely. Had I not been born in the Nation of Islam, I would not have thought that there was more to medicine than just what I got from medicine. You know, when I was taught a synthetic chemical, send everybody get these mammograms. They have to go get these colonoscopies. You know, I would just be doing the standard. But knowing what I know from being raised in Islam, I knew that there was nature, that what we could do, we could tap back into nature with our health.
Wow.
And having this book, I knew, I said, okay, well, you know, although they do not teach a large class of nutrition, nutrition is not taught in medical training. You get 7 hours, 12 hours of nutrition, and that's it. So of course I knew, and having this book, I can't show it. I got this virtual background, but having this book, I knew it was something else. So I said, okay, well, I did get that. I was happy to get the technical side, of course, the chemistry, biology, biochemistry, all of that on the medical side, because I wanted to be a cardiologist. I had open heart surgery when I was 11 years old. And so I said, I want to be a cardiologist. Well, I didn't go to be a cardiologist, but I did practice, go to, you know, become a doctor. And then, oh, you can see the book a little bit. Oh, I can see it a little bit. But at any rate, that's how I combined. That's how that was so important, me being in the Nation, because I knew it was more to medicine than chemical synthetics. And I thank Allah that I had the parents that I have, and I got that foundation and knowing, okay, I got this, I've secured this, now I have to go into that. So I went back to school and got the information on being an integrative medicine doctor, which does incorporate nutrition therapy. It does incorporate chromotherapy. It does incorporate music therapy, guided imagery, all the other areas of health and healing that are not touched in conventional medicine.
Absolutely.
Praise
Dr.
be to Allah.
Patrice, is that when you discovered that you wanted to become a doctor? When exactly did you discover within yourself that you wanted to become a doctor?
When I was 11, that's when I had that procedure, the treatment that I received. You know, I was just 11, but I felt loved. I felt cared for when I had that done. And I said, look at these people that, you know, how they did all white now. I didn't have any blacks. These were all white, you know, back in the 60s, you know, I'm telling my age, but in the 60s, you know, all white. And I really felt loved. I felt cared for. I didn't feel any kind of way. I wasn't fearful. I just wasn't afraid. I felt loved. And I said, this is what I want to do. I want to do this too. This is what I want to do.
Yes, ma'am.
Praise be to Allah. Dr. Patrice, thank you so much for that part. And in saying that, you mentioned chromotherapy and music therapy and some of these other things. And I know there are some fascinating things happening with stem cell research. In fact, I was reading a report today about how people have been healing themselves with laughter, right? From the Cancer Institute.
Yes.
Are there any eye-opening trends in medicine, you know, for better or for worse, that you see coming down the pipeline that we should be aware of and that we should be mindful of? What's really getting your attention right now?
Well, when you say just down the pipeline, you know, when I get notifications, it's like 98% just conventional things that are on the horizon. I do get notifications from the Natural Alternative Health, and mainly those. What I see in that in particular is meditation and guided imagery. You know, guided imagery is one thing that is not talked about enough, but something that I believe is extremely important, because God, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Come on.
So
Yeah.
when you start thinking that, okay, you close your eyes, I can see my my cancer cell being killed. You know, your killer cells, your T killer cells. I see that. I see it going. I see it attacking. I see it gobbling up that cancer. See, that's a simplified way, but you have someone who help you with guided imagery, and they teach you how to do it. And when you're at home, you do that. That helps with killing those cancer cells, with attacking tumors. That's important, and that's part of that thinking, that food for thought. Also, that spiritual thought, good thought. So that has been known, and it has been researched, and it works. People have thought themselves, just like you said, laughter. People have thought themselves healthy.
Yep.
But it takes a special. It takes focus. It takes consistency. It takes faith.
Come on.
It takes belief. It
Come
takes
on.
will.
Come
You
on.
have to know what you're doing. And there are people who say, this is not going to take me down. This is not going to kill me. And guess what? It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh man.
Very important. Thought, 24 billion miles per second.
Come
Come
on.
on now.
And that's the average. That's the average one of
thought.
us. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the average one of us. Okay.
I want to say our dear sister has not seen these questions ahead of time.
No, I didn't.
It's evident that the Spirit of Allah has guided her to touch on the
Alhamdulillah.
future questions. So
Yeah.
Yes.
you've already touched on this. So I'm going to see if you have anything else to add about this question regarding, is heart disease reversible? It sounds like you already touched on that. And if so, if heart disease is reversible, how can the disease be cured?
Okay, well, it can be cured. When you say reversible, that's almost like it's almost going to the cure state, because if you're reversing the effects of it, that means that you're getting rid of the effects, which is causing the heart to be healthy and function and act healthy.
Right.
Cells are turning over healthy. 120 days, we got healthy cells, that new cells that are turned over.
Yeah.
So there is a supplement called Cardio Plus that Standard Process has. Now, people can't flood the website and try to get it, because Standard Process only sells to providers, because they don't want their products to be misused and then give them a bad reputation. I used that and it didn't even work, and I don't know what they're talking about. That doesn't work. So you have to go through a provider, but that's one thing. There may be other companies out there. I'm not familiar with a whole lot of companies, because again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. If I know something that works, I'm going to stay with that. And I've been using it with patients, and it has worked and has not failed me. So Cardio Plus helps to reverse those effects. You also have to have, there's an inflammatory component, especially in cardiovascular, coronary artery disease. There's an inflammatory component, and a good balanced oil, well, a good omega-3 oil, which I call Balance Oil. It's a company that sells Balance Oil, and that helps to remove that inflammatory component inside of the lumen, or the inside of the artery, the lumen of the artery. It helps to remove that component, and that also helps with reversal. So there are a couple of things. It's not just one thing in particular. Also getting a little exercise, getting more nutrients and oxygen to go through those coronary arteries will also help that will
Yeah.
also help to heal the heart, also help to fill it with the nutrients and the oxygen that it needs to protect itself, to heal
Mhm.
itself.
Yes.
So
You
those are
know what?
two things off the top of my head that I know that I put patients on for heart.
Mm-hmm.
While you saying it, I looked and I see one of them. Is that the Body Bio Balance Oil? And I did the Cardio Plus. That's the one from Standard Process, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you
Well,
for
it's
that.
really, the balance oil is really from Zinzino. Hold on, I'm gonna get my. I need
Yes,
to get
yes,
my.
I see the
You see
Zinzino as well.
Okay, I'm gonna get my
Zinzino
plug.
Balance Oil with orange lemon mint.
Exactly. They have
Yes, ma'am.
several actually. I'm going to get my plug for my charger for my computer. 1 second.
Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
So while Dr.
Sorry
Patrice is
about
doing
that. Sorry
that,
about
we
that.
want to encourage everybody that's watching. We want to make sure that you subscribe, you share,
Share.
the information that's going on right here that is being shared by Dr. Patrice on the 7th Region Coalition to Help Save Lives literally helps to save lives. And I
You
know
wanna
that
save
we don't
lives?
have a
Share.
whole lot of time left, so
Right.
we want to encourage everybody that's watching us right now to continue to share and subscribe. You can always go back and watch this on demand, and we want to encourage everybody to continue to do that. All right.
All right. You good, doctor?
Oh yes, I saw. I was
Okay.
like, oh, I better plug this in 'cause it's gonna cut it off. Okay, sorry.
Awesome. Oh no, no, you're good. You're good. No, you're not sorry. You're not sorry. You're not sorry in no shape, form, or fashion.
Oh, I know what you mean, sister.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
I should say I
So
apologize.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So so let's go back to the prostate, the cancer
Mhm.
piece.
Yes, ma'am.
So when getting a prostate exam, can it be done via blood test or is it more involved? It can be done via blood test. Okay.
Yes, you don't necessarily need the digital rectal exam. Most Black men are not going to get that anyway. So there are, and when we researched the testing, the blood, the serum testing, there are tests that are much more effective than the PSA, but I don't know why. I don't know I don't know how intertwined this PSA is into the powers that be that want this test. The actual Dr. Albin, David Albin, he developed the test. And he is saying this test does not diagnose prostate cancer as much as a coin toss. So a coin toss, it's like a he
Like
said
heads or tails coin toss, you mean?
heads or tails, heads or tails. He said he designed that test for surveillance of prostate cancer, not the diagnosis. So that test, he designed that test. If it increased, okay, that means that we still the cancer is still still needs to be treated. Or if that test is going down, whatever treatment or modality was used, okay, it's helping it. Surveillance, not for a primary diagnosis. And he has stated that he's still around, and he has stated that for decades. He never designed that test to diagnose prostate cancer, but it seems like the powers that be, they are just hell bent on using that test. I wonder if it's because it's overdiagnosing people. So if they get a more specific one, then we may see some other numbers.
Yeah.
Dr.
Yes,
Patrice, a few months ago, we had a sister. She's very dear to me. We grew up in the cultural community together here in Miami. Maha Adachi, she shared that when she went in for, she was diagnosed with breast cancer. It sounds like something very similar to what you're discussing right now, because they immediately wanted to go into chemo. And she said, no, I got different options here. Let me weigh this out. No, I'm going to go this other route. And she was able to overcome and defeat the breast cancer. All praise is due to Allah.
Yes.
Which leads me to my question in regards to your work, in regards to cancer research. It's mainly been with Black men, but has some issues of misdiagnosis based on your experience also been the case when it comes down to Black women and breast cancer or other types of cancers and ailments?
Well, I would have to say I have not done a thorough research project with women. My research project started with men because I was asked to do it by someone. And so that's why I started that. We are looking to start that for women for breast cancer and for cervical cancer.
Yes.
However, I will say that there seems to be an increased, I would say an increased diagnosis of breast cancer based upon the mammogram. It's the mammogram that I have a problem with, because that mammogram, there is a more sensitive and specific test for breast cancer called it's a thermogram. So breast thermography is extremely more sensitive and specific, but no insurance right now will pay for it. So again, what is the resistance? If you have people, if you can make a more specific diagnosis for a particular condition, why can't you put that in more mainstream and allow insurance companies some latitude to be able to pay for that with their members? So same thing with PSA. So with breast cancer, same thing with the diagnosis of breast cancer. That mammogram is not as sensitive as the thermogram.
Wow. Dr. Patrice, you have been so gracious with your time with us and with the information. And I wish we had one of those canned applause that we could just send up some fireworks, because it has been.
Brother Mark.
Isn't that
and he has a copy of how
he put the book up for me.
There it is.
More fireworks, more fire.
Copy of How to Eat and Live. That's mandatory, family.
Right.
That's right.
Store.finalcall.com.
Come on.
That's the foundation of it all. Dr. Patrice, before we go, do you have any closing remarks you would like to leave with our viewers and those that are watching?
Well, yes, sir. I would just like to leave this. Don't give up looking for someone who will help you. Pray on that. I know there are a lot of bad doctors out there, but there are some good ones.
Yes.
We need help in our communities.
Yes, ma'am.
Pray on it and go and at least get an annual exam. At least. We're not doing that in our communities, unfortunately. And I'm getting people, that haven't had exams, and I don't know how long. I'm talking about inside the house. So we want to follow the leader, right
Follow
now.
The leader.
Yes, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, and he left the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan over the house, and he said, get your annual exam. If I wanted to impress anything, there's two things. Get that annual exam and look into growing your own food, because what we've seen is very bleak. Grow your own food. Start now while we have a minute. Start now. Grow your own food and partner. Pull your resources with someone, because we have people inside the Nation of Islam. And even if you know someone else who Amish Farm, somebody, we need to get out. We need to get out and partner. We need to save ourselves. And those are just two things that immediately come to mind for us to improve on with our health and our community.
Praise be to Allah. And ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends, family, you can find Dr. Patrice Muhammad at healthatitsbest.org. You see on the bottom of our screen, you also see the telephone number. That's 773-435-9493. And guess what? You can send her an email at healthatitsbest1@gmail.com.
Yes.
And we'll keep that up for a while. Thank you, Dr. Patrice,
Thank
for
you.
joining us this evening. We applaud you. We pray that we may be able to bring you down here into the 7th region sometime soon. Brother Tony and I used to do an event every year. It was called Organic Hip Hop.
Oh,
And yeah, and in the early days of Organic Hip Hop, we had Dr. Lila Africa. We had our dear sister Queen Afua.
oh,
We had,
wow.
oh yeah, we did, and it's time to bring that back. People say that we
Yes.
were ahead of our time, but we were right on time.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
and
Yes,
now it's
sir.
time to bring Dr. Patrice and some
Yes.
of these wonderful brothers
Yeah,
and sisters,
that's
you know, back into the forum so that we can really be about the healing of our people. So thank you again,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Patrice,
Thank
for
you.
joining us this evening. We do want to close out. We have our Knowledge Corner, right, Brother Mark?
Yes, for our Knowledge Corner, we have closing out for all of our shows, the Knowledge Corner. Today is dealing with annual checkups. It's important. It's quite simple. Early detection. Annual checkups can help detect diseases and illnesses early on when they are more treatable. For example, routine hypertension screenings can help diagnose high blood pressure early, which can prevent serious health problems like heart attacks and strokes. Annual checkups are a key part of preventive care, helping you catch potential health issues before they become more serious. And then annual checkups can help establish baselines for your health conditions. And also, annual checkups can give you a chance to get to know your doctor better, and which can make it easier to discuss personal topics. So that is our Knowledge Corner.
Wonderful.
Praise be to Allah. And so once again, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, and the enemies that are tuned into, we see y'all out
Them
there.
too. They're tuning in
Yeah,
too.
we don't want to leave y'all out. We want to put that up on the screen. We got a last thing, Dr. Patrice, we got to do, because we got to make sure everybody knows that they can go to our Cash App. They can make any kind of contribution that Allah may put on your hearts, may put on your minds, that you may go ahead and help us to continue in this work in the in disseminating this information. If we're gonna put it up on the screen, now's the time to put it up on the screen.
There it is.
Right there.
Yes.
You can always send your contribution, your donation to 7th Region Coalition. That's $7th Region Coalition. That's the Cash App. And please like, subscribe, share with everyone. And at this point in time, I think it is very appropriate to once again thank everybody for joining us for this edition of the 7th Region Coalition. As we greet you all in peace, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
Praise be to Allah. Awesome.